Welcome back to Up West Sports with episode 26 of the Hold My Trident podcast. I'm your host, Gavin Hite. We have some updates for you in the Mariners world, but first...
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
Some quick hits for you. Guardians hire Andy McKay as field coordinator. What does that mean for the Mariners? The Guardians are adding Andy McKay to their coaching staff with the title of field coordinator, which was previously held by another guy with ties to the Northwest, Kai Correa, who previously coached at University of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington. Hats off to Kai Correa. He departed last month for the Mets to become their bench coach. So McKay has had an interesting career, oscillating between coaching and front office roles. He had been a coach in college ball for a number of years, actually, but got hooked up with Jerry and company, and I believe in October 2015 is when he finally got hired. That was actually not very long after Jerry had gotten the job as well. They had worked together previously in the Rockies organization. So going into the 2022 season, McKay was actually added to Seattle's uniformed coaching staff, putting on the jersey finally with the title of Major League Coach and Senior Director of Baseball Development. However, as Divish has noted, the Seattle Times, he had to pivot back to the front office during spring training when his replacement actually left. 1 year later, he was actually promoted to assistant general manager. A year ago, the Mariners added vice president to his title. Some words from Justin Hollander. I got this per Divish, which is actually per MLB trade rumors. It's sad for me, but I'm thrilled for him. And so now, kind of wrapping that up, he'll now get to join a big league coaching staff in Cleveland, working under manager Stephen Vogt, another former Mariner. The Guardians also lost their bench coach with Craig Albanese, becomes the manager of the Orioles. So perhaps another hiring is still to come. But he's going to be putting on the jersey, which is huge for him. So I think that's what he's always wanted to get back to. So hats off to Andy McKay and his tenure with the Seattle Mariners and everything. He's done a fantastic job. So best of luck to him. And in other news, Dan Wilson, who was a finalist, we touched on that in one of our previous episodes, but Dan Wilson was a finalist for the AL Manager of the Year. The votes came down, and Stephen Vogt, a former Mariner himself, Stephen Vogt ended up getting the AL Manager of the Year back-to-back years. Not sure how I feel about this one. Big Stephen Vogt fan. He has done a fantastic job in his tenure as a manager and won it last year. But considering where they came from last year and where they're at this year, I don't know if the role was fitting. I'm not disappointed that he won it. I just think that there might have been some other people that were deserving. John Schneider had a heck of a season, went from bottom of the barrel last year to now going to the World Series all the way to Game 7. Just a tremendous year for John Schneider, as much as our fan bases have gone back and forth, as much as he's called out Cal Raleigh. I think he had a tremendous year, and he was deserving of the award, but also capitalized with, I think our guy Dan Wilson had his first time manager, and he went all the way as far as he did. It's the furthest in Mariner history. He took that team in his first full season as manager. So I don't know how I feel about that one. I feel like there was a little bit of a snub there, but again, the award is out. You can't go back and do anything about it now. So congrats to AL Manager of the Year, Stephen Vogt. Following along, per Bob Nightingale, Austin Nola is now the Seattle Mariners bullpen coach. He has to get let out of a contract with the team, and that 2020 trade is just looking sweeter and sweeter by the minute now that we're getting Austin Nola back in the fold, and he's also a bullpen coach, which we just talked about him. Stephen Vogt was in this role, and now look where he's at. So you got to be a little excited about next year, getting Andres Munoz back with Austin Nola, and just Austin Nola back in the fold with this team. I think he's been a tremendous person in the clubhouse, and so it's excited to see. It's exciting, sorry, to see where this leads and what Austin Nola's career as a coach now looks like. Over the past few days, the Mariners, we talked about it in our last episode, Cole Wilcox was acquired over these last few days, but even more recently, Ryan Ludus is now a Mariner, another relief pitcher, and then Randy Dobnak, also another pitcher that I wanted to get into a little bit. It's both of them are minor league deals. Actually, I think all three of them are minor league deals, if I'm not mistaken. But Dobnak, 31 in January, just got to the end of an early career extension that didn't really pan out in his favor. Once an undrafted free agent who played through indie ball, he was even driving Uber. He landed with the Twins and climbed all the way up through the majors. Over the 2019 and 2020 seasons, he tossed 75 innings for Minnesota, surrendering just a 3.12 ERA. And his 15.7 strikeout rate was pretty low, but he posted a 5.7 walk rate and also got grounders as a high rate of 58.8%. At the start of the 2021 season, the Twins and Dobnak agreed to a 5-year, $9.25 million extension. From the team perspective, that was a tiny amount of money, even for a lower spending club like the Twins. But for Dobnak, considering his humble origins, that was massive to him. And these are not my words. These are also MLB trade rumors. They have put together a fantastic article for you. I'll make sure that that's also here. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for the club. Dobnak's ERA shot up to a 7.64 in 2021. He has largely been kept in the minors since then. He didn't pitch in the big leagues at all in 2022, 2023, followed up by just 5 appearances last year and 1 in 2025. The Twins shipped him from the Tigers at the deadline as part of the Chris Paddock trade, seemingly just to get the remainder of money owed to Dobnak off their books. The Tigers kept him in the minors and then declined a club option for 2026, giving Dobnak a $1 million buyout instead. For the Mariners, there's no harm in bringing him back. As we all know, Jerry loves to do pile season, and it has already begun with free agency just looming over a past few days ago. So it's exciting to see who else gets added in, but we do have to mention, as free agency has now opened up, Josh Naylor has to be at the top of the list. And I'm pretty sure it's been repeated throughout the entire organization. That has been their main target going into this offseason, and now we're here. So you need to strike early and strike fast. Go get Josh Naylor. That's it. It's as easy as that. You have to go get Josh Naylor, and that has to be done fairly quickly so you have the rest of the offseason to kind of figure it out. Hopefully, with all sides coming together on this one, it can get done fairly quickly, but pay the man. The guy can hit in Seattle. We've seen multiple people come to Seattle and just not be able to hit. You found one with Josh Naylor. Lock in. Go get him. Get it done early. That way you have the rest of the offseason to kind of factor in the puzzle pieces, trade players away if you need to trade players away in order to free up money to go get some other players. Biggest free agent on the market right now, Kyle Tucker. Apparently he's in talks with the Dodgers. If there's any way that you can get that guy, that would be a huge one for me. On the other side of the free agency, you do have Kyle Schwarber. He's going to command a lot of money. He's the right guy to bring in. And I think he's going to do very well no matter where he goes. Seattle may be a place that maybe he struggles, but what he brings to you on and off the field in the clubhouse, I think you're adding fuel to the fire of what's already being done. So I gotta at least throw his name in the hat. There's been a lot of speculation that Ketel Marte is now on the trade market. What a buyback that would be. I believe his AAV is at $15 million, or roughly $15 million a year. So a handful of options to kind of get this thing going this offseason. Obviously, Tarek Skubal, that's been a huge hot topic for everybody. We talked about it in our last episode as it's a want, not a need, and I'd love to get him. I don't know what you'd have to give up for him, and I don't know if he'd sign long-term in Seattle. I just don't know what that would look like. So it's a very high risk with bringing him in if you're going to get rid of 4 to 6 really good prospects, or just a plethora of really good prospects, and then not sign him. It would be a 1-year rental, which could be worth it if you win the World Series, but it sucks when you don't get him long term. For Up West Sports, I'm Gavin Hite, and just remember, always gas up your boys.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!